Welcome to the National Pulse. I'm Raheem Kassam, editor-in-chief of thenationalpulse.com. A lot of people saying, by the way, that intro is too long, but that's my hype music, you got to understand, so I need that full minute. Well, as another American city burns, this time it's Kenosha in Wisconsin, the Republican National Convention begins. All I can say to that is it was eminently predictable, premeditated even. Kenosha, Wisconsin is just 40 minutes south of Milwaukee, where the Democrats were originally billed to host their convention. Here's what a Bernie Sanders supporter said would happen to cities in Wisconsin if Bernie Sanders didn't get the nomination.
Bernie doesn't get the nomination, or it goes to the second round at the DNC convention. Milwaukee will burn. It'll start in Milwaukee, and then when the police push back on that, and other cities will.
That undercover recording was made by James O'Keefe's Project Veritas, one of the only organizations left in this country doing actual investigations. And there you have it. One of the Bernie bros, a senior Bernie bro, threatening that Wisconsin cities would burn if Bernie didn't get picked. Well, he didn't. So the rioting begins, but the media will tell you that this is directly related to the shooting of Jacob Blake, a 29-year-old man shot in the back by police officers who remains alive after an altercation in his home neighborhood in Wisconsin. But Jacob Blake appears to be well known to police. In fact, Jacob Blake appears to have a warrant out for his arrest. The Wisconsin Circuit Court website details that a man of the same name, same age, and same neighborhood of the described Jacob Blake has had a warrant out since July of this year. The charges? Misdemeanor criminal trespass to a dwelling with domestic abuse as a modifier, felony third-degree sexual assault with domestic abuse as a modifier, and misdemeanor disorderly conduct with domestic abuse as a modifier. Indeed, Jacob Blake appears in a 2015 article from Racine, Wisconsin, which states, Racine police say K-9 Dozer had to help officers take a man into custody when the man refused to go quietly into custody after he pulled a gun at a local bar. The Racine Eye story says he was charged with one felony count of resisting arrest, causing a soft tissue injury to a police officer, and one misdemeanor count, each of carrying a concealed weapon, concealing a firearm while intoxicated, endangering safety use of a dangerous weapon, and disorderly conduct. And of course, most international media organizations aren't reporting these facts in the wake of the rioting in Wisconsin overnight. Credit to the Associated Press for including it in their copy, but as of going to air today, there was no mention on CNN, nothing on the New York Times, and nothing in the Washington Post. Call me a pedant, but I reckon prior gun convictions, as well as an outstanding warrant for Blake's arrest, may have been playing in the minds of officers attempting to detain Blake. And of course, Antifa and Black Lives Matter and other far-left organizations out there will be using Blake, his name and the fact that he was with his children at the time, to hype the case nationally. On the starting day of the Republican National Convention, Jacob Blake presents an opportunity for them, as Democrat Rahm Emanuel, former mayor of Chicago, and former Obama chief of staff noted, Democrats never let a crisis go to waste. They can't afford to. The Democratic National Convention last week turned out to be an unmitigated disaster for Democrats. And that's not my opinion by itself. That's the opinion of people who watched. And the numbers were a disaster too. According to the Hollywood Reporter, quote, across all 4 nights, the convention averaged 20.12 million viewers on the 6 networks. That's down by 21% versus the 2016 convention's average of 25.51 million viewers across the same 6 networks. Thursday's coverage slipped by about 22% compared to the closing night 4 years ago. That means that fewer people were interested in what Joe Biden's Democratic Party has to say than were interested in what Hillary Clinton's Democrats had to say. Yikes. Not only was the viewership subpar, but so was the response. While more people found Joe Biden to be affable than prior to the event, that's not exactly what you go for as a party at a conference. You want an overall poll bump. They didn't get one. Joe Biden was a no-bump chump, as I wrote in my Sunday editorial at thenationalpulse.com. He follows in the footsteps of John Kerry, George McGovern, and Mitt Romney in experiencing no uptick in his poll numbers after a convention. That's per the CBS and YouGov poll. Those noted winners, a double yikes. And who could be surprised when this is what they had on offer?
Now, please welcome Speaker of the United States House of Representatives,
It is my honor
Nancy
to bring you the
Pelosi.
greetings of House Democrats.
Dr. Jill Biden.
You're up. And 52.
This
is a different kind of keynote.
is a different kind of keynote.
Joe's working to protect and expand the Affordable Care Act. He'll bring down the cost of health care and prescription drugs too, giving tax credits to working families and allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices.
That's a big effing deal.
That's a big effing deal.
Delaware is proud to cast its 32 votes for our favorite son and our next president.
Our friend, Delaware, Joe Biden.
I love that. On today's show, we have a former Democrat for whom the cringe was just too much to take. Harlan Hill switched to Trump's Republican Party ahead of the 2016 election, and we'll be joined by Jason Miller from the Trump 2020 campaign to discuss how the RNC can steer well clear of the convention pitfalls that the Democrats fell into. We'll also have breaking news from Natalie Winters about Senator Chris Coons and his links to both Joe Biden and the Chinese Communist Party all at once. You're not going to want to miss a single second. Stay tuned. This is the National Pulse, and we'll be right back.